What's up, you guys? Okay, so welcome to my workout. It is February the 17th, 2024. This is my actual workout. I'm actually doing it in 3 separate little videos today. They are all raw, unedited, so you get to hear me stutter and mispronounce things all day long. The first 2 exercises were certain concepts I like people to be aware of. What I'm gonna do here, I do not recommend. In fact, none of these videos that I post are, can I say, are tutorial nor instructional. They might seem that way, but basically these workouts would occur whether I record them or not. But since you're kind enough to be here with me, I feel like it'd be nice if I explained what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. All right, but this one I don't recommend. I've been doing these jaw and neck things for years and years. I've had lots of time to adapt to them. And you know, I haven't made a lot of mistakes because I started very, very light, very slow. I've never lost any of my teeth. My neck has never snapped off my body. That always could happen. And if it does here, well, good for you. It's gonna be a fun video. But in general, yeah, but here's what. So today I'm using a cable machine. In this case, I have a free motion trainer machine to practice forward and backward intention. So that's just being able to either drag something backwards and or push something forward, okay? So I already made those videos. I'll link those to this one if I remember to. And then, okay, now, what looks like a stunt for social media, it is not. I have been doing this well before I think social media even well, I know I was, before it ever existed. I no longer practice any martial arts. I'm too old and fragile and lazy, but I still practice for them because I've always found that if you're conditioned to fight, or defend yourself, I should say, then you are also coincidentally ready to play any sport your kids or grandkids would want to play with you, or help your neighbor move furniture, or whatever you choose to do, you're pretty much prepared for. And if that thing goes wrong, you're also, you're more durable, I'd say. So this exercise is a durability exercise. Yeah, I'm a big believer, especially as I get older, in conditioning the jaw muscles. Not just so I can bite things hard. I've never really had to do that. But a lot of people get fillers, especially from much younger than me onward, because what happens is the muscles in their cheeks or in their face start to atrophy. And then they have to like inject things in there to kind of fill in where the muscles used to be. This is, I believe, called a zygomatic process, your cheekbone. And then this is your mandible, your lower jaw. And those muscles that are atrophying, your masseter muscles and a few others, I think, those are the muscles that when we stop chewing, when we stop using them a lot, and our hormones also start to plunge like mine have, they atrophy. And as a muscle atrophies, the bones it is anchored to will sense that lowered resting tension, and then they will start to demineralize, because your bones are use it or lose it either. And one way of using your bones is to have tension on them, both at rest and the muscles attaching them to them, being able to produce high amounts of tension. If they are able to do that, it justifies the maintenance of the bone mass in the area. So yeah, a lot of this is for that. Also, it makes your head and your neck much less prone to trauma. Not just getting punched in the face, but much more commonly slipping and falling and hitting your head in any direction, especially backwards, or even more commonly than that, just a little rear end tap. Somebody just bumping you can send you into years of shit because your neck gets snapped backwards and just, ugh, it's a mess. So that's another reason why, because life, just sleeping in the wrong position, we've all done that. I have found that by strengthening my neck in multiple directions, I'm able to minimize and avoid a lot of that. Okay, so that's why I do this. But at the same time, once again, I have to emphasize, I don't recommend that people do this, and if they do, it's at their own discretion. Okay, so rolled up towel, this is nothing special. My dad was a doctor. These are surgical towels. Preferably use one that hasn't been used in surgery. Okay, so it's rolled up. Number one thing I always make sure I do, I never put anything, especially on a pulling exercise, or in general, any bite-based exercise, I never put whatever I'm biting across my front teeth, because that's just gonna make them come flying out, sort of like leaning backwards on a picket fence. It has no integrity that way. So I only line these up in my molars. I put one here, one here. I also make sure that they are symmetrically placed. One cannot be jammed all the way here and this one jammed halfway in. They have to both be in the same amount. When you bite, the teeth, the contact, the thickness of what you're biting should all be the same. Okay, here we go. So not only am I getting all the benefit of all that backward intention stuff I was talking about in the previous video, all that stuff in my toes and my feet and my legs and everything, I am now using my jaw to connect that function to the highest. If you look at your body as a lever, this attachment, that probably looks funny, but doing that puts it as high on a lever as I can. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why not use a head harness? Why not use a head harness? Head harnesses will put it even that much higher up here. I got one right in there. But I like to do this because, to me, the activation of my neck and my back muscles, in fact, the activation of all my muscles, comes from my jaw. So I actually feel it is safer for me to pull weights with my head and my neck when they are attached and getting the feedback from my jaw, feedback in two ways. If something that would injure my neck, I will not actually be able to hold on to with my jaw. So there's a built-in safeguard for me in doing this. If something is truly too heavy for my neck or some other part of my body, I will know that because I just won't be able to hold on to it with my jaw. So my jaw is like, it verifies that the load I'm using is appropriate. Speaking of which, I'm gonna add a little weight to this, just one plate. So, and by the way, this is not real heavy. The weight I just lifted was 20, now I'm going to 25, okay? Because the lever of my body is so long and it's entering kind of at the top of the lever right through my mouth, I don't need a lot of weight. I don't want to have to lean or compensate. I should be able to keep my spine neutrally stacked and keep my chest over my hips and move myself backwards without having to do this or having my neck. Those are also different exercises, and I might do those later. But, okay. So, once again. Okay. Another thing that, another built-in safety measure that also increases the full body effect of this is staying up on my toes. If I have to flatten out in order to get this thing moving, chances are I'm using an amount of weight that presents more risk than benefit. So that's another way I keep this type of an exercise a little safer. And you know, I gotta talk about safety a lot because I know some of you are gonna try this. So it's important to me. I don't know you necessarily, but if you're here watching this, I know I like you. So I want you to be well, and I don't want to cause any harm through any of the videos that I post. I want to give awareness and education, but I want you to stay healthy and happy and fine. Okay, so what is this, 30 pounds? 30 pounds, okay. Once again, making sure that this is symmetrically placed in symmetrical, meaning the seat depth is the same, and the thickness of what I'm biting, it is contacting my molars symmetrically, nothing on the front teeth. I don't know if you noticed, but I am always, no matter what I'm doing, be it a bicep curl, squats, the eccentric portion of a lift is way more important to me than the concentric or positive portion of the lift. So returning properly, whether the weight is in my mouth, I'm holding on to handles, controlling the return, the eccentric deceleration of the weight is really, really important, much more important to me than the concentric, because oftentimes in the concentric or the positive portion of the lift, even if I try not to, I can just lean and let gravity bring me back. And if I do that, I'll know, because on the return, I won't be able to stay up on my toes. So that's why I like to go out on my toes. And then I'm pretty sure if I did that, I can return on my toes. And I want to take small steps. I'm never in a rush. It's harder. These exercises are more difficult when you take small little geisha steps than just take big chunks and go boom, boom, boom. No, you can do that if you want, but okay, let's add one more plate. So 30, we're going to go up to 35. And with these exercises, even though I've posted videos that look pretty crazy, the object is never to go to max on this, never to overload my jaw or my neck. All right. Okay, another quick point. I'm just going to talk to you on the rest intervals. One of the benefits of doing these type of movements, whether you're holding with your jaw, your hands, a strap, a harness on your head, with traditional vertical or axial movements, what I'll call the distance of travel is rather short. Depending on the cable machine or whatever you're using, by the way, I do not recommend elastic bands for obvious reasons on this or any of the other videos I just posted. A solid, well-maintained cable machine is a must. Elastic rubber bands, bad idea. I've done that before, it's gone well, but definitely telling you not to do that, please. Shit, I just got off the topic. Sorry, having a little ADHD and I need to eat lunch. So why don't we just go on to the next weight, and I'll remember what I was going to tell you in a moment. Like I said, these are raw, uncut, one camera angle, just I'm doing this workout whether you're here or not. But some of you seem to find some of this helpful, so if I can be of help, I really like to be, especially if I'm just going to do this anyway and I'm going to talk to myself. All right, so I got 40 pounds. This is going to start getting a little bit heavy. Oh, I remembered. Okay, sorry, real quick. So the vertical distance of travel is, by its very nature, rather short. So the time under tension for those is also kind of on the short side. Also, when I'm lifting a barbell here from the floor and I'm holding it with my teeth and using that same rag, that's all I get. And my posture, the lever of my body is short compared to where it is here with my feet close together. You see how much taller I am? So the leverage here allows me to lift a big barbell, but the distance of travel and the body lever is short. I don't feel good about myself unless I can take a direction of challenge that actually occurs in real life, like this, and perform it from the tallest body lever possible. That's just me. I'm kind of a OCD that way. Okay, so 40 pounds. Once again, if I can't start this off my toes, even though I can just lean back and bull through it, I'm not going to do that. Okay. Okay, so, another nice thing, I kind of related to what I was just saying, but being able to move that cable this distance, obviously the distance of travel is long, and therefore the time under tension is long, operating from a more disadvantageous body lever and using my toes, the tibialis anteriors, the calves, muscles that lie dormant when I'm flat-footed in these types of lifts, right here, okay? That's what I love so much about this version of it. And once again, that goes to just holding the cables like a normal person, like this, and just walking back and just feeling what your feet are doing, both here, but more importantly, bringing it back under very minute control. That is so important. If you worry about tripping, slipping, or falling, or having strong dogs that pull you off your feet, or having to stop a shopping cart all of a sudden so you don't run over some person's foot in front of you, these are very, very, not the jaw version, but on the other two videos, those are very helpful abilities to cultivate. All right, did I remember to add weight? No, I didn't. So I'm bringing it up to 45. Now, I've also lowered my cable a little bit because in order for me to do this, I'm gonna have to settle into my legs and use more of my legs. So I'm shortening my body lever in exchange for a little more weight, but that also prevents me from having to compromise my neck position and subject to myself to unnecessary risk, or what I'll call necessary risk. All right, here we go. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know how long that took, but another beautiful thing about this is the time it takes to do that rep. Notice with a heavier weight, I go slower. So the total time under tension, especially for my jaw, that builds bite endurance. It's not just like having a strong grip, being able to squeeze a gripper shut and then letting it go, that's cool. But what I feel is taking a gripper that's maybe of a lower tension and being able to squeeze and hold it shut for a long period of time. So that's another reason why I do this version of jaw and neck training, so that I have an integrated level or degree of challenge into these two guys. And another reason why I tend to not use harnesses a lot, I've come closer to hurting my neck and myself using harnesses because, like I said before, I'm not getting the feedback from my jaw on what's actually appropriate for me to attach to my neck. When I got it here, not only is it on a higher lever than here, I've now taken the weight and placed it higher up on my total body lever, so the force on me is now greater, but I'm not getting the feedback from my jaw on whether that amount of weight can actually be managed properly and whether I can hold my alignment with my jaw. And there's also neurological, very powerful neurological things that happen when I bite down hard. I mean, if I want to do, I believe mouthpieces or having something to bite in your mouth in some powerlifting events are illegal. They are as significant an advantage as performance-enhancing drugs or amphetamines. So, I mean, that is the power of the jaw. And I also consider this and other movements where I'm lifting with my jaw, I am simply training the upper portion of my spine. I mean, everybody does low back extensions and all this stuff, that deadlifts, all the stuff we do for our low backs. We even have our zerchers for the mid-spine, and everyone's doing mid-spine stuff. But the neck, the top of the spine, the thinnest part of the spine, but to me it's the most important part because this little pedestal mounts all of this vital hardware and the software that runs inside of it. So this, to me, is in ways more important than what's below it. Because I already know I'm training what's below it from all the stuff that I do, just the conventional stuff. But the only way I can get this, and to me, my neck and my jaw are like my forearm and my fist. Okay, I don't do or like my arm and my fist. Like, I don't train my biceps by taping weights or strapping them to my hand. I grip them. So I consider my skull a third fist for, if my body is an arm, this right here, this is the fist. And that gives me a more integrated and global strengthening effect than training it segmentally by putting something that we didn't evolve with harnesses on our head. Humans actually did have to bite things. Like in the old days, if you killed a gazelle or some heavy animal, you've seen leopards or cheetahs or something kill something, and then a bigger cat comes to take their food away, or something, a hyena, and then they will bite this 60-pound this gazelle that they just killed and climb a tree holding it in their jaw. Well, people have done that too. There have been times when people have had to hold children in their teeth and climb a tree because there's a flood going on underneath them. I hope that, yes, the chances of that happening are rare, but life does that to people sometimes. Okay. Let's finish with 50 pounds. I know this is going kind of long. Normally my actual workouts, if I'm not talking like this, they go much faster. But I think we both got to get out of here. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. I think I've said enough on this. Like I said, if you're still here, thank you. Gosh, I don't know what to say, but I hope some of the principles I presented are helpful, the actual execution for yourself on how to do that. I don't recommend doing what I've done. I can't verify where you are in your physicality and your conditioning and your mindset. So for those reasons, I can't recommend this, but like I said, I hope it's helpful to you, and it's Saturday, so have a great weekend. Bye.